What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. One Piece, Season 22, Episode 7. So in this episode, so you have Luffy came across Bird and like Goldberg, and then three of them come across Zoro, Sanji, Chopper, Usopp, and Nami. And Luffy tells Usopp that Elbap's up ahead. So Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper get to like where they see the main part of Elbap, and you see like a little flashback to when they were Luffy and Usopp were talking about how they're gonna see Elbap, and now like they're actually there. So you see Usopp crying tears of joy. And then, like, on Dorian Broggy's ship, they meet up with Hadrian's ship. They all go up the Rainbow Bridge or whatever to enter like Elbaf. And so like yeah, and then they reunite with Luffy's group. So all the Straw Hats are back together. They have the Thousand Sunny again. So now looks like next week is the reunion between Robin and Saul. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna get a lot of free hack channels. But yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. And yeah, so and you see like a guy in Lewis or not giving like a overview of LBAF saying don't stay too long or whatever, you're like don't overstay your welcome, hinting at basically what could happen in LBAF. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Because there's the theories about time moving slower in LBAF compared to like the outside world. Like there's theories about that. Like I'm not gonna get into that because that could have a big deal with what's gone on outside of LBAF. So yeah, we'll see. And yeah, so I mean that was a theory. I think there's like stuff saying that it's not the case. Now who knows if that happened? It could just be that giants age slower than regular humans. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Man, Exorcist Kiyoshi, Chapter 92. So all the lower level demons from Ross territory are giving their power to Kiyoshi. And yeah, you have like basically everyone's trying to kill him so that he can fight Bobo. Shishio says he'll give him some time. There's a chance he'd probably die if he does it. So Shishio tells Kyoshi that they should stop Bobo and go to a concert together. So then Shishio attacks them with Bobo, and then yeah, so obviously Shishio gets hit pretty badly. Then you have basically all the other exorcists trying to help out, give some time. Then Kiyoshi like heals and now like he's ready to fight. So it's like the final stage of the fight's about to happen. So see what happens there. So yeah, I thought this was a good chapter. Interesting how the rest of this fight goes. Looking forward to the next one. Ichi the Witch, chapter 82. So in this chapter, it's explained that the gun magic is called Muscat. Basically, so mages within the like witches within the ribbon candy family, they inherit that magic. And so like traditions for the daughters born in the family to be given the gun. You compared to like their magic energy. And when Amador was 6 years old, her gun was a Giga machine gun. So yeah. And apparently she's never run out of ammo during the battle. So you see her fighting Miyataka. And you see Miyataka, he got recruited to the Magic Keepers. And he remembers when he was like teaching Ichi. And when he learned about Ichi being a male witch. Yeah, so and then yeah, so you see Miyataka fighting on Maduro. And then you see this one like what you see like Amador was like thinking about like her ambition. But yeah, so and then you have Fujimine, he's like seen possibly possessing Amaduro. And then yeah. And you see like using the toxic terror magic maybe being used to possess her or whatever. So we don't know what's going on. But yeah, well, and of course, Fujimine wants to kill Ichi. So no, that's her. It's her daughter. We'll see how the fight goes. But yeah, I thought this was a good chapter. I liked how the fight between Miyaka and Amaduro was. We'll see if Fujimine is possessor, if Amaduro is an accomplice. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that was a good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Winter Doctor, chapter 16. So in this chapter, Shirley goes to the library where he goes a lot to study. And during his time sitting there, he had befriended Miss Chidru, who's an old lady who's trying to become an author. And and apparently they meet up for lunch a lot. They talk, and then Shirley notices something wrong with Chizuru. Like basically, she's showing symptoms of a stroke. Then when she collapses, she calls Heiji for help. And then of course Shuli has someone called 911. So Shuli calls Heiji. Goes over with like the symptoms or whatever. So Heiji's able to explain likely where the stroke's at. So by the time the ambulance gets there, all details are there, and that's able to allow them to treat Chizuru. So then 2 week hospitalization. Then like a month later, after some rehab, Chizuru meets up with Shuli again, and that's it. I like this chapter. It's simple, one-off chapter of like we'll see like how this affects like the rest of the series. If like Chizuru's just a one-off character, or if she's gonna be someone who's gonna be important later. Who knows? But yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Kyoto's Magic, chapter 15. So in this chapter, you know, Haru claims that Kyoto's magic didn't work on her because she doesn't want to admit that man helped her out. So Kyoto tries again. Haru feels really good from the magic, and she calls it an attack. Then all the others are like, wait, Grace, an attack? Well, let's punch him. Then the chief arrives, and the chief says that she'll take Kyoto into her custody. And the other Maho, they said they don't want men there in the village, especially if one of them be a criminal. But basically, like, they'll be prisoners. Like, chief says they'll be prisoners, but, you know. And basically, what happens, so the chief reveals herself. Her name's Terasu. She's like the youngest. Well, like she became chief at a very young age. So Terasu has Kanto use some of her magic on her. And she asks why Kanto wants to use magic on himself. And he says, well, so he can fight. And so Terasu agrees to teach him how to control his magic. But if he can't learn it in the month, he'll basically be forced to stay in the Maho village forever. And apparently there's like a militant faction led by Sasuke, who might be, I guess, causing some internal problems in the village. So Terasu's wondering if that could be if maybe the outsiders being there could maybe be a breath of fresh air in the village. So yeah. So Kinto's concerned you know with what's gonna happen. So you didn't have a then Tarasu also thinks how that's the first time she ever talked to a man, so she's like blushing or whatever. And it's like, ooh, crap, that's gonna, I guess, cause this thing to be awkward. And so you have Karu helping lead some of the training. So we'll see how the rest of this goes. But yeah, that was a good chapter. Introducing this village. Who knows what's gonna happen? If there's gonna be a time jump, or if it's just gonna be about the train. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that was a good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. And Headbutt, chapter 14. So in this chapter, it's when the alien has like 4 legs, whatever, gives a letter to Shirokiba about a challenge to a fight over the fate of the Earth. So basically, he's trying to like a wrestling match, I guess. So yeah, like really, that's how we're gonna do it. But yeah, so Shirokiba says there's something he's got to do first. Then the guy with the alien attacks Shirokiba and Mei. And then someone comes there, calls that guy orphan. Then there's like by his other alien that arrives. It's like he's wearing like a fluffy hood or something. So you see other aliens start arriving. You have Mei and Tatsumi arrive. So Tatsumi arrives to help Shirokiba and Mei, and they all fight the aliens. And then Tatsumi says he and Mei will deal with these aliens while how Shirokuma gets away to like find like fight that alien. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I thought it was a good chapter. It's like they're setting up the final fight. Who knows what happens? Looking forward to the next chapter. Rooster Fighter, episode 10. So in this episode, KG's crew keeps fighting the demons. Then like this devil appears and kills some of the demons because they're like worthless. And our guy tells like Elizabeth and Keisuke that what the goal of the demons is to create devils, like turn some demons into devils, right? To get the top level. Kyoko unlocks like some, I guess, fire form, whatever, after she got impaled. You see Keisuke and Keijiro to beat up this one demon. Feels like we're setting the stage for like these big power ups. So like Keisuke has that called Kakayo-kin. I'm like, what? And you see like they're like Keisuke and KG's father. I guess in some flashback mentioned something called a righteous egg. I guess that they like hatch out of whatever they associate with their power. Falls to Phoenix Flame. And yeah, so let's see what happens. This Phoenix power sounds interesting. But yeah, I thought this was a really good episode. It's like they're developing the whole thing with like the KG's bloodline. And you see all these demons, like what their goals are, gradually getting revealed. But yeah, that was a good chat, good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Digimon Beatbreak, episode 31. So in this episode of Elbaro, Hitomi, and Gekomon, someone throws Chihiro and Algamon. So Chihiro's like a shy girl, like who hangs out at the beach. Basically, she like I guess doesn't have a lot of friends, but she bonds with Algamon, which can cause like a lot of like electrical disturbances. Apparently, one shut off like a bunch of electricity in this whole like area or city where. So there's concerns that Algamon's gonna do the same thing here, because there's a bounty put out on Algamon. And then, Meadow and Kane and Venom arrive with their Digimon, trying to capture Algamon. Toro and Gekomon try to handle things in a way that doesn't like keep Chihiro and Algamon apart. And after Algamon's like rampage, and when he's about to Chris like basically like old stasis whatever to Chihiro, like Algamon calms down, and Chihiro's convinced that Algamon's too dangerous right now, but like maybe in the future they can get him back reunited. So Glowing Dawn transports Algamon to Nirenso. And so yeah. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I thought this was a good episode. Yeah, so like but yeah, so it was definitely interesting. I like to get like a Digimon that can negatively affect the partner. It's gonna be interesting. Like, like how they affect their evils. Like, oh crap. But yeah, I thought this was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. It was House of Oddities, Chapter 6. So in this chapter, so Roku's like interrogated by the science club about like first it interrogated about Sachiko because they think she's his girlfriend. And then then about like some of the other spirits. They still think they're regular people, but he says they're just freeloaders hanging out in his house. They're like, oh, okay. And then one was like, wait, you're living with a teenage girl, and they're all like, what the heck? Like they're all, you could tell they're all jealous. It's so funny. Like it is so freaking funny. But yeah, so it's like their reaction, what they all think. Like it's just funny. But yeah, that was a good chapter. So we're seeing more of the students. However, a lot of this will affect like the spirits, whatever. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that was a good chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Wistoria, Wand and Sword, Season 2, Episode 6. So, all the students who are about to enter the tower, they get their white uniforms called Gloria, and Will gets a new sword forged by Donan. So everyone enters the tower. You know, the first floor, the colorless garden. You know, Clarion leads them there. After they go through the colorless garden, they basically you have like you know they go to like the Prune ceremonial hall. They're music created by the Magia Vanders and their representatives to deal with the first plume. So you have the blessing of color. So you see like the Gloria changes color for each person depending on what faction they're recruited by. Now everyone joins a faction except for Will, Julius, and four others. Now Elfie wanted to scout Will, but the Upper Institute's director recruits Harlan doesn't want a person who can't use magic in, so he has to prove himself to all of them. And Julius wasn't scouted because, well, Elfie was pissed because he was bullying Will, and the rest didn't want to scout because he has ice magic. So, you know, that's it, except to fight a bunch of Zoctanias, like golems, whatever. So Will and Julius deal with the Zoctanias like pretty easily. And Will like absorbs Julius's magic to use it using ice, whatever. And the other students like struggle. So seems like those two will prove themselves. From like based on what little I know about the manga, like from what little I've read and what I've seen, safe to say they're gonna get chosen by factions. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that was a good episode. Looking forward to the next one. Class 2B, Hero Destroyerz, Chapter 4. So in this chapter, Long is still trying to hold his poop, fights like he fights a Gimson, the Flame of Olia, who's like the hero that has entered this world. So you know, they're in a fight, and Gumon's just sitting on the toilet the whole time because he's trying to hold in his poop. Then Valerius arrives trying to grab it, go in there bat, but he accidentally hits him in the head. When he hits him in the head, he does something almost like it knocks oh, like it causes the toilet to break the ground, and like basically Kumon was able to like I guess release everything, and he like opens the 10th inner gate, and so he fires an attack like after absorbing Kimson's magic, fires back at Kimson and just knocks him out. And yeah, and the school is sinking. Okay, yeah, so I don't know how that's gonna go. So yeah, I thought it was funny. It was like, man, he just had like the best dump of his life. I mean, yeah, you haven't won your hole for a while. They're really good, and once you go, you feel relief. I have the experience. I haven't like cracked cause a toilet and ground the crack from taking the dump, but dang, that poop must have been bad. Like, yeah, it was so funny. Yeah, I don't know how long this manga is gonna go. I don't see it lasting very long, even though I enjoy it. I don't think it's one that's gonna last a while. So yeah, I like this chapter. Looking forward to the next one. Well, and that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.